Alright, what's up y'all? So we're finally closing in on the finals for King of MACBA 6, with our two final contenders being the Comet's most hated skater, Dilo, and our King of MACBA 4 runner-up, Adriel Parmisano. Now in hindsight, I was only half right about my finals predictions, with Cody unfortunately being thrown off by Dilo's barrage of volleys, of which only one was in regular stance. Not to mention Dilo was not afraid to exploit Cody's avoidance of drops, with not a single trick he set being on flat or a ledge. Being equally matched on manuals, it makes sense that Dilo would stick to his old ways and just keep it simple.
Me? I ain't doing shit.
Having only performed 2 flip tricks, albeit switch over the ledge drop, both of which were just not in Cody's favor. Now, although people want to be quick to slam Dilo for his low shock level trick selection, I don't really think he's relying on the fact that some skaters can't land simpler ollies, as he's more than capable of flipping down those same spots too. I feel it's more than fair to say he's willing to win a match without putting himself at risk for losing a chance to set a trick. And if his opponents can't land the tricks, especially when they're just a base level ollie, it's hard to really blame him for going easy for his sake of setting tricks. Especially when considering the fact that by this third round, we can see every skater has been wearing the same outfits, indicating that these games have gone on back to back to back. And with Cody's previous performance compared to Dilo's, it's fair to say Cody was just burnt out, having bailed 3 chances to set tricks, with Dilo not missing a single one, making a comeback impossible to reach. Say what you want about Dilo, but Cody blew his shot by missing those 3 set tricks, and as compared to Angelo Caro in round 1, Dilo is a much tougher opponent to beat.
You can't defeat me.
No, I know. But he got.
Now on the other side of the bracket, we had our MACBA local faces, Kilian go head-to-head with King of MACBA alumni, Adriel Parmisano. Now I definitely was right about this half of the bracket, resulting in the win for Adriel, with Kilian unfortunately continuing his unlucky Rochambeau streak and having to go second for the 3rd time in a row. Compared to that of the previous match winner Dilo, Adriel has a much more tasteful trick selection, having done another round of a wide variety of tricks in some of his favorite spots, with half his tricks being flip-in or flip-out grind combos, and the other half being switch flip tricks down the 5-star no less. Now I feel Kilian faced a similar fate as Cody did, albeit to a more experienced opponent. Having been his 3rd round of the day and bailing 3 times on set tricks, it was just too hard for him to achieve any form of redemption. Not to mention, unlike Cody giving Dilo 3 letters, Kilian was unable to get more than 1 letter on Adriel, who was slightly only tripped up by a nollie frontside crook on the table.
What's wrong with you, bro? What the heck? You tripping, bro? You tripping?
I had a feeling this match would play out in a similar fashion, as Adriel has the highest switch percentage, least amount of contested tricks, and has won the most matches in the fewest amount of sets. Now with the finals concluding this weekend, we have our top 2 skaters from either side of the globe, one a hometown hero and former runner-up to Tiago Lemos in MACBA 4, and the other a first-timer US core skater trying to take care of Yuma's money. Now whereas with previous matchups in MACBA history being a bit more respectable in terms of skill level, trick selection, and notoriety, this year's is definitely one of the most odd pairings we've had for a MACBA final yet. On one side we have the Comet's most favorite skater, Dilo, with his strategic and unpredictable way of playing the game, and on the other hand we have alumni Adriel with his extensive familiarity of the spot and a rather deep bag of tricks. Now in my opinion, based off the past 3 matches and Adriel's overall performance in them, he only bailed 2 times setting tricks on defense, and he only received 2 letters across all 3 matches, compared to Dilo himself who has received 8, yet still has only bailed 2 tricks on defense as well. Now it's hard to say whether this is an indication of his overall ability or the general difficulty of his opponents, but Dilo does seem to play strategically and has no problem taking a letter as long as he can throw someone off with another switch ollie on his turn. As previously mentioned, Adriel seems to favor his grind combos and stair tricks, having opted to continue at what he's good at and double down on these tricks in the 3rd round. The same can be said of Dilo, opting for his usual barrage of switch ollies and sneaking in some pretty hefty switch flip tricks as well, amongst a couple other manuals. When it comes to who has the upper hand, I'm personally leaning more towards Adriel, as he has demonstrated his swiftness and tenacity with never passing more than 6 tricks needed to take his opponent out, and having never let an opponent get more than 1 letter on him in their rounds either. Compared to that of Dilo, who has had some close games himself, securing a total of 8 letters across his 3 rounds, yet also having the only shutout game in the entire lineup.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
One clear advantage I see Adriel holding over Dilo is the sheer level of technical grind combos he's able to pull off, as Dilo himself avoids setting any tricks of this nature at all. Although Adriel seems to have opted for setting tricks only down the stairs or on ledges, he isn't no stranger to the rest of the MACBA, and it's hard to say whether Dilo has him beat in this regard. If the finals round occurred the same day as the previous events have before, I doubt Adriel is ignoring Dilo's trick selection and is more than aware of the game that he's playing, which leads me to believe that if Adriel wins the Rochambeau and doesn't bail more than once, he will have the perfect opportunity to shut the game out in 5 tricks only. Considering Dilo's previous history with tricks set by previous opponents, I don't think Dilo has the skill level to match up to Adriel's grind combos as much as Adriel has a familiarity in the spot in dropping switch ollies over the ledge. Although Dilo can pull out some hefty switch flip tricks on the drops, Adriel has already proved he has those down on even larger drops across the spot. One advantage I feel Dilo would be smart to utilize is his consistency of rather obscure manual tricks, as he's more than able to dish out 6 variations pretty much first try, and we have yet to see a single manual trick go up against Adriel. With that being said, Dilo may have a chance to take another cheap win for the title if he aims for weaknesses rather than safe tricks to set.
Sweep the leg. You have a problem with that?
Because unlike a normal game of skate, where you have a chance of coming back as long as you keep landing your tricks and your opponent never gets a turn, in MACBA, with every defensive trick swapping turns, securing or cashing up to a lead can be hard to achieve for both sides. Like how in a game of skate, winning Rochambeau can shut out a skater from ever setting a trick entirely and ending the game in 5 tricks only, in MACBA, winning the Rochambeau only gives you a +1 buffer that's lost as soon as you bail your turn. Or if you never fall, it can widen the gap for an opponent who's got second if they bail on any of their set tricks. Basically, if both skaters can set tricks the other can't land, the winner is simply just determined by whoever went first in the match. Which leads me back to my prediction that if Adriel is able to win the Rochambeau, he'll have enough of a buffer to allow for one mistake and still take Dilo out. However, if Dilo does go first, he'll be having to play catch up like Cody did in round 3.
Come on now, dawg. Come on, man.
Now, I don't see Adriel being psyched out that much as I brought up in my previous predictions. His last time in the finals was against Thiago Lemos, and not that Dilo is a bad skater or anything, but he's arguably not as skilled as Thiago. This alone gives me the feeling of security that Adriel won't be thrown off by Dilo's antics, as he's more than capable of throwing himself down stuff in a switch stance with an added late kickflip first try to say the least. With that being said, I'm hoping the crown of MACBA stays in the hands of a local skater. Not to say Dilo doesn't deserve it, but his overall performance comes across as very cheap and safe, and he doesn't seem to be too considered with the sanctity of the matches, nor how he wins. Considering this event is hosted by Kilian and the Barracks, I feel it's fair to say that Dilo could care less about impressing the viewers. Being a more seasoned course skater and considering his ability outside of MACBA in the streets, you can't really hate the player, you just gotta hate the game. With that being said, here's hoping for Adriel in the final leg of the match and his first crown win for the King of MACBA. We'll see how this weekend goes, and if I'm right about Adriel's win, or if Dilo ran off with the prize money with a cheap bag of tricks. I appreciate y'all for watching, and stay pushing.
So Charlie's in my shit. Oh my god.